welcome Gemini. We're looking at your higher timeline self in messages here. So keep in mind these are collective in general. Receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Never give your power away to a reading or outcome. You are a conscious creator, right? You shift your timeline with your free will choice. So let's go ahead and get into this, Gemini. So you're cracking me up. Your higher timeline self that's coming through here is I've got to start with the place oracles. So we have the tavern, drinks and beverages, pub food, tavern traditions. Okay, so you really might like that pub atmosphere. I think you like the social atmosphere. But then we have rendezvous point, meeting place, destiny unfolds, convergence. It feels like you're the main character in a fantasy story. Okay, so I don't know if some of you are, you're reading like dark romance or fantasy right now, like that's something, but it's like you're manifesting or creating you kind of being the hero, okay, or the shiro on your higher timeline here. But yet still being a bit like dark and mysterious, and it's just interesting. Maybe you like to dress from different decades, or you like to cosplay, or perhaps on your higher timeline you have a horse, right? And you like to ride horses here. Or you're tapping into like a past life self. I'm not sure, but yeah, there's a really interesting vibe that's coming from you here, Gemini. We also have the moon card. Okay, so what's interesting is you see that black cat looking in the water and seeing a panther in the reflection. So there's this sense that like you're discovering perhaps a sense of power through doing shadow work, or you're uncovering more of a powerful sense of self, or your perspective of yourself is shifting and changing, right? That could be something here. So I feel like your confidence is shifting and changing on this higher timeline with this moon card. And we also have the death card. So it's like there's this transformation, there's this change on this higher timeline. Again, like there's kind of like a darker, like moodier sort of energy here, which is interesting. I'm not sure why this is your higher timeline, but you do have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands. So for some of you, this could have to do with you, the two sides of you, Gemini, right? You are the twins, where you have this darker, like a fantasy like character self, right? And then you also have this Ace of Cups, loving, and your cup being overflowing, and you're just kind of blessing those around you. And then you have the Two of Wands of kind of like who you choose. But I feel like on this higher timeline, some of you are definitely exploring, your shadow self and discovering, the power of integrating in your shadow self and doing that healing work with the Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands here. There's also a sense of like courage and fearlessness that's coming through here for you. And then we have the Three of Cups and the Eight of Wands. So on this higher timeline, you're busy. You want to be busy. You want to be, reuniting and spending time with friends here with the Three of Cups. You like communicating with others and connecting with others. Like there's that. It's really interesting that that's what's coming through for your higher timeline, because a lot of other signs, it's like you can relax and kick up your heels and take space and time, and you're like, I want to celebrate and be around people and go to the pub and ride horses, through a medieval street. like that's your vibe, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just so interesting. Kind of enjoying exploring it here, because it's just different. And then we have the Three of Wands energy here. Okay. Whereas like, your ships are coming in here. So some of you, there's maybe instant manifestation. You think about somebody and they call you. There's just this sense of like, you feel like you have the power. Okay. You feel like you have the power here. It's gonna be so interesting into the extended to dive into this energy. We also have that you are magic. Okay, so that could be something that you're recognizing. Again, for those of you that like to read fantasy or watch fantasy shows and movies, like you're recognizing that the reason you're drawn to these characters or these archetypes is because that's a part of you. Or some of you, that was you in a past life, right? So you gravitate naturally toward like maybe certain time periods in history, or certain, fantasy shows, or certain ways of life that you don't really connect so much with the modern world. because you're an old soul. So that could be the case as well. But you're recognizing that, like, as you're watching these, reading about these magical characters or watching them, that you yourself are magic, right? That you have these aspects. We also have creator water energy coming through here for you, Gemini, as well. So even though you're an air sign, it feels like what the element of water, which we know is transmuting, is flowing, also connects, it's a conduit for spirit. We have that Ace of Cups energy, which is like, that beautiful love and peace and healing energy, right? What you focus on grows. You see that cup is overflowing, and then there's that plant that's growing from there, and the cat's drinking from it too. So like your energy is very, incredibly magnetic and healing. But you might need to cleanse and clear with the creator water, or when you drink water, when you shower, like use your intentions and infuse your intentions into that water for the changes that you want to create. Okay. Because there does feel like there's a partnership with the element of water, because we have 3 cards with water, in 4 actually, because the horse is walking through. Okay. Yeah, it's like giving night energy. Very interesting. Maybe like video games as well, like fantasy video games. But that, you partnering with element of water, working with element of water, I think will help you on this higher timeline or shift to this higher timeline. And yeah, 4 cards with water. There it is. We also have you, kind of accessing these different perspectives here as well. Where like here, you're up higher. Here again, like you have this kind of bird's eye view or this higher perspective in your experience before you make decisions. So you're listening to your heart, but you're also looking at things from a higher perspective, from this timeline when you're making decisions. Perhaps about with, the death card and the moon card, this could have to do with you, cutting cords, because he's cutting a cord there with any sort of energies that were, not in their integrity around you, or that you didn't trust. You wouldn't perhaps be taking them to your higher timeline, right? So that's so interesting. This is such an interesting energy, Gemini. So there's a lot of play, there's celebration, there's socializing with friends and family members. You almost like with that 8 of Wands, with that coming through, you like people to rely on you. You like people to, in a way, kind of overwhelm you, I think, with like what's going on in their life or their challenges. I feel that is an opportunity for you to heal a little bit, because you could be leaning into other people and helping other people to avoid doing your own work. Okay, that could be the case here, but you like free-flowing communication. You like momentum. You like creating momentum here. Okay. And you like adventures, and you might be more of a night owl than anything else. So like you might be very active at night or want to go out at night. That could be something that, is, aligning more so with you, because this card, even, you could do a lot of your decision making or planning in the evening time. Okay. Some of you could have an orange cat. You don't have to, but there could be that as well. And some of you kind of like to bite off a little bit more than you can chew sometimes in situations, because you appreciate the challenges. You like the challenges and you like the reward. Okay. So you like to take on a lot on this higher timeline. You do enjoy that. Okay. There's also prosperity on this higher timeline. You're connecting in or feeling the love and support from your ancestors as well. I'm seeing that with the 2 doves. Okay. The doves always remind me of like grandparent energy. Some of you, it's like you manifest something and it comes at you with like this abundance, and you're like, oh my gosh, like let's say you're like manifesting in a partner, right, Gemini, and all of a sudden all of these, you get all these DMs, or if you're on like a dating app or something, always be careful, of course, you're getting like all these messages of like the energies that you desire to connect with or get to know, and then you're kind of celebrating that with the 3 of Cups. You have a lot to celebrate on this higher timeline. is what's coming through here. So let's go ahead and get your goddess or your wild woman wisdom. We have guard the inner child coming through. We have all those bunnies. Number 34. Your inner child travels with you. She is as light as a feather, tender as a hug, and is the source of all magic, play, and creativity in your life. All the great inventions of our world came directly from the inner child. Airplanes, penicillin, the printing press, all were created because someone dared to ask what if and why not. Going against all customary thought and convention, the inner child lives in possibilities and isn't afraid to fail in order to play with new ideas and inventions. When we allow the inner child to lead our potential, wild woman rises. Okay, so some of you innovative creators here. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Receive what aligns, release what doesn't. I'm going to take this into the extended. That's in my Patreon extended videos link, and that is, posted below. So for those of you that are joining me, I'll see you soon. For those of you that are leaving me here, I hope this, at least brought you a little bit of a giggle, right? Because it's quite unique, or brought you some value. Take the best care of yourself, release anything that doesn't resonate, and I will see you soon.